Yo, you dealing with the X Factor.
I got everything I ever wanted, and I'll never get that back. Oh, I know you hate that back, but you ain't gotta look at me like that. I said you ain't gotta look at me like that.
I know your body, what you looking at? What you looking at? What you looking at? It will be televised. What you looking at?
All right. Are we in? It is time for episode 3 of the All Wrestling is Equal podcast, brought to you in part by Overwatch 2. Make sure you use code SWAYRA at checkout to get Overwatch 2 for free using our coupon code SWAYRA. You might have to give them $10 to get the battle pass still, but tell them we sent you and you'll at least get the game for free.
Hell yeah. We're playing some Rein Invasion.
Yeah, for those of you who aren't familiar, it's just a little kind of like Zombie Estate, but the zombies are Reinhardt from Overwatch. So you can basically pick a character and look, they're over there. So you just gotta kill them. And there's waves, and they get stronger and stronger every wave. There is a version where you can buy upgrades to make your character extra powerful, but we're not playing that version. And every time you die, you get a new character at random. So maybe you're Junkrat again when you die. Maybe you're Reinhardt, and you have to fight Reinhardt with Reinhardt. Yeah. So.
All right, we're gonna be talking about Dynamite.
They make us, I guess, in between pay-per-view cycles. They used to do it a lot more often when they didn't do a pay-per-view a month. They would kind of fill in the time between with the special Dynamites, and this Maximum Carnage, I guess, is a remnant of that era of AEW, because they've got this and they've got the Australia show coming up in February, and then March is when their next official pay-per-view after World's End is taking place.
Yeah, we've got a while in between pay-per-views this time.
Yeah, but it's good that they're giving us a little something, because this definitely felt like a pay-per-view caliber card. Some of the segments were a little bit of a miss for me. I'll get to it in the podcast, but it was overall like a solid episode of Dynamite, pay-per-view quality card, like I said. And then on Saturday, they're also doing a Maximum Carnage Collision. This will be even more Carnage.
Even more Carnage.
The Carnage will be Maximumer, if there even is such a thing. So, shall we get on with the show?
Yeah, definitely. So, first off, we started with a backstage segment. Samoa Joe is back there supposedly earlier in the before the show started, and he's talking about Hangman and basically how he's a fool for wanting to get the championship. And he basically explains that he's got some focus that needs to happen for the trios titles. He needs to defend those because it has been a while since we've seen them defended. And then basically he says he put it out a bounty for Hangman. And then Brian Keith comes out and they advertise that Brian Keith is going to be having a match with Hangman. So that's what started out the show.
Yeah, it was weird. I was a little confused by that part because Joe mentioned something about Paige's foolishness trying to come after him again. But as far as I'm aware, like, I'm pretty sure John or Adam wants the belt. So he sets his sights on MJF like not long into the show, because they come out, they being Hangman and Swerve, they come out and like cut a promo on him at some point during the show. And I don't know, it's a little disappointing because I guess they're making time for, I guess Kenny's coming first, and then after Kenny will probably be Swerve and Paige. So it's kind of, I think they're giving something like a bit of a filler feud, I guess, for Hangman.
Yeah,
still dealing with the Ops and Joe and everybody. Because like I get that it was personal and stuff, but you'd imagine last week they got what they were wanting, you know, the revenge, being able to take the revenge on Hook and finally be able to be at peace with themselves, and then refocusing on the belt.
Yeah,
Sorry to
it's
get
a
off on
little
a
strange.
tangent, but yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a little strange, like with like bringing in the bounty hunter. But I guess I get it. Like they're going for this bounty hunting thing, and how Brian Keith is just kind of working with all of the bad factions, like the Don Callis family, the Death Riders. Like they're all over the place.
Yeah, it's a good way to get over Brian's character.
Definitely.
But when you think about it, like logically, this is a place of work. Who's setting up a bounty board, and do we need to talk to HR about what's going on in the locker room? You know, we're just like governing themselves.
Yeah. Right. I'm setting out a bounty.
Yeah. A little context. Apparently, Brian Keith's first match in AEW was against Hangman. Way back when. It's been a couple of years now since he's been in the company.
Yeah, definitely.
He was doing matches here or there, and then not long after he did his thing with Jericho.
It's Jover for me.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, we had that first match, or excuse me, the first promo, and then the first match of the night was Darby Allin versus Pac. Finally, we get to see this match that they've been advertising for what feels like a couple weeks now, but really it hasn't been. Probably just about a week.
Yeah, they wrestled at Full Gear, I believe. Maybe it was World's End, but they were wrestling, and then Pac, or I guess Darby got the better of Pac during the pay-per-view match, and he called down the Death Riders, and ultimately they helped him get the win. So Darby felt a little cheated, you know. So he was just like, last week he was hunting down Pac, like just asking for a match, and then he threatened to break his ankle, and all that happened. So
all the fucking carnage,
carnage. Yeah, there was more carnage last week than there was this week.
It definitely was a good match to start the show with. Basically, Pat comes out with the Death Riders this time, and he's like, no, I'm gonna do this myself. I'm gonna prove basically that I can do this and still beat him. So basically it shuts him up.
That's awesome.
And it's crazy because at the beginning of the match, Darby actually attacks Pac before he can get in the ring, and we see that he immediately takes him into the audience and just like starts attacking him, trying to put him to work before the match can even start.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, it was the polar opposite of how their Full Gear World's End match started, where they were legit having a wrestling match where they were like exchanging holds and like running the ropes, and Pac was obviously the better wrestler because Darby is just he'll just throw himself at you, you know. But Pac's got the technical wrestling like prowess from being an independent wrestler for like in 20 years.
Right.
So it was interesting to see. Yeah, they just had a whole like brawl around the arena before the match even started. They reminded us a couple times. They're like, "Oh, the match hasn't started yet, so nobody can get disqualified."
Yeah, because like obviously they couldn't do that in the real match. Mm-hmm. It was crazy the stuff that they were doing. I mean, Darby was fucking jumping off the second level.
Oh yeah, that shit was crazy.
Of the stands, like from the audience.
Yeah, that was scary too, because you couldn't. There were no like lights out there or anything, so it was super dark, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I hope Darby can see him."
Yeah, it was crazy, and there were just so many things. I'm like, "Oh my god, Darby is gonna die!" Like he's doing a good job of not wanting to live to 30,
right?
Or like walk when he's 30. I think they said that on commentary. Like it was crazy. There was like a really big suplex on the floor once they actually did start the match. A really big suplex on the floor to Darby.
Yeah.
And then Pac threw Darby on the stairs, dude. That it was crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
his neck and his lower back hit 2 separate parts of the fucking steps. I'm just like, oh my god, this guy.
he's not gonna walk.
It's very much like Dynamite Kid. He wrestled
Yeah.
himself into a wheelchair before he was 40. And I feel like Darby's just gonna break his record. He's gonna do it even sooner.
Yeah.
That's something to
crazy.
strive towards. But yeah, it's just crazy. And like he talks about all the stuff he does in between his matches that like help, I guess.
I
So maybe
don't care, dude. That's crazy.
I mean, I get it. He's essentially like he puts himself into like physical therapy for a week or 2 after his matches before he goes and does some more crazy shit. But back then in the 80s and 90s, it was just pill yourself up and maybe go to a doctor if you can afford it.
Right.
But
And all of that happened before the even match started too. And like even
yeah, how long was the actual quote unquote match?
I don't even know, but like that had to have gone on for like 10 or 15 minutes because like even the referee had to like check on Darby before he rang the bell to make sure that he still wanted to continue with the match. And like I believe him, like it was crazy.
Right, because he'd been dropped on concrete a couple times at that point, and I know I wouldn't want to do whatever it is I was doing anymore if I'd fallen on concrete a couple times.
Yeah. So I just kind of wrote that there were, oh my god, the belly to belly suplexes just all over the place. Pac was definitely very cocky in this match, and you could tell that he was just like they were beating the shit out of each other. There was a really cocky attempt by Pac to pinfall Darby at one point, and then lots of coffin drops, which was cool that we got to see those from Darby. And then do you remember Paul Turner being dumb?
No, remind me, sorry.
So like where he was like checking on Pac in the corner, and Darby was doing his like jumpy or like going from ropes to rope,
Right.
And basically Paul Turner, sorry, just had to kill some Reinhardts.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Paul Turner like jumped in the way and he gets knocked out by Darby.
Oh, I think that was Pac pulled him in.
Oh, I saw it as he just was dumb. and
Yeah,
got
he
in the
was
way.
dumb. Like he was too close, and then I guess Pac took advantage and like finished the job. I guess like fully pulled him in while Darby was running. At least that's what I interpreted it as.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, yeah, because he tries to wrestle Darby fairly, and then it turns out, oh my god, he just like gets he gets cocky, and then he calls for the Death Riders to come out, which is kind of getting annoying.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we saw it for a year with John, and then we're seeing all this stuff. We're just like, ooh, is Pac gonna be the new leader of the Death Riders, or is Claudio gonna be the new leader of the Death Riders? But even they are doing like the same chicken shit heel like wrestling things, and I get to an extent that like it's wrestling, so you can't really deviate too far from the norms, I guess. And you have your tropes and everything, but we see like MJF using more or less the same heel tactics later in the show, and it can be a little tiring watching it over and over again, especially coming from watching WWE where they do that shit every week, at least before like pre AEW, like 2019 AEW. But enough about what I'm rambling about. It was a pretty good match. Towards the end, I think it was Yuta came out with a chair, introduced the chair to the match, and what happened? Hold on. So
he brings
Yuta brings
out the
the chair.
Yeah. and basically Darby counters him, and Scorpion death drops Wheeler and takes a chair from him, and then he ends up using it on Pac to fuck up his ankle, and then ultimately Pac ends up tapping out in the Scorpion Deathlock.
So that Pac tapping out to the Scorpion Deathlock is what I mean when I say it looks good when he's doing it to people his size.
Yeah.
Because this week it was cool because they're about the same size, and it really looks like it hurts, especially with Darby putting all of his weight, like wrenching back on it like he did.
Yeah. And he really like played the ankle too, like up in the match of like hurting it and then destroying it with a chair. So I'm sure like that in combination with the Deathlock, like
for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I didn't say anything. Sorry. I was looking at my fire because I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. I was like flying and spinning. It was kind of cool. Anyway, are you familiar with the phrase Pillmanizing someone's leg?
What is it? Humanizing it?
Pillmanizing, like Brian Pillman. You remember Brian Pillman?
Yeah.
From like we were watching 95 WCW, and we watched what pay-per-view was it? Halloween Havoc 95, and he wrestled Kevin Sullivan, and he made that comment like, I respect you, Booker Man. Kind of like,
oh, Booker Man, yeah.
Yeah, he was the first one to kind of break the fourth wall like that, at least for like most of us, like of our generation. And so when a wrestler puts somebody's leg in the chair like that and slams it, it's named after him because he was the first one to like really do it, to kind of like write somebody off like as an angle. So it was awesome. The Pillmanizing.
Oh, Pillmanizing.
Pillmanizing the ankle. Brian Pillman was the first one to kind of do that, to write somebody off of TV. So the wrestling community just in general called it Pillmanizing somebody's leg or arm or neck when it involves the chair like that.
Interesting. So do you think that he's gonna be injured now and out for a while? Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that was meant to write him off for a little bit. Oh my god. Or if that was just kind of, maybe he'll do the same thing that John's kind of doing, where he sells it for a couple weeks during his matches. But yeah, it was good. Like, even though Darby got his, I was gonna say even though Darby lost, but he won. Darby got his pound of flesh. He got his revenge on Pac, and then maybe finally we can move on from this Death Riders feud, because they've been feuding for over a year, it seems like. Let's see. Yeah, so he's basically feuded with every member of the Death Riders, even Gabe Kidd, and he's not even around all the time.
It was a good match. I thought like it was a great opening for Maximum Carnage, a show named Maximum Carnage, because Darby he ate shit the whole time until he did it. It was crazy. Then after that, we had Brian Keith versus Hangman that they advertised at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, this was more match than angle, but what we got as far as the match is concerned is really good. It was very hard hitting, very back and forth. Even though Brian, he had the advantage, I would say, most of the match, and then Hangman got his babyface comeback. But it was, like I said, it was back and forth, and they were just fucking smacking the shit out of each other. It was crazy.
Definitely. So Big Bill definitely played a lot in this match too. Like, I felt like he was a big distraction for Hangman. He ends up actually choking out Hangman at one point, like towards the end, and Swerves ends up coming out, which I don't know if I expected necessarily, but I get why.
Yeah.
He came out. It was kind of cool because it was like, it really showed their unionship and respect, and that they're working together, and theoretically will be working together for the
foreseeable future, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll definitely. at least for a couple of months until we figure out where the story's going. So the match wasn't really anything to write home about. It was pretty obvious that Hangman was going to win, but yeah, like we said, it's more angle than match, because then, like you mentioned, Swerve came out to help Paige during the match, and then after the match was said and done, Kenny came out, Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And he cut a little bit of a promo, and it was really cute because it seemed like Adam was genuinely happy to see him.
Yeah, he smiled.
Yeah, because it's been a while, ever since the Elite, quote unquote, reunited in like 2022, 2023, not long after Punk left. Do you remember where they would come out to Carry On My Wayward Son?
Yeah, I loved that iteration. That's when I at that point, Kenny was coming back from injury. I hadn't been around to see him at all. So that iteration was the first really time I got to see Kenny for what he was. And then the same thing really for the Young Bucks too. Like when I first started watching, they were around a little bit. Like I knew who they were, but I didn't really get to see them wrestle a lot. So it was kind of cool when he was around with when the Young Bucks and Kenny were together, because it was the first real exposure to them.
Right. And they never, like, Hangman never came out to help Kenny when he was in trouble, because he was quote unquote heel at the time, even though he was on his way to turning again. So it generally has been, oh god, almost a year and a half, almost 2 years it seems, since they've even been in the same room together on television, you know?
Yeah.
But so it was awesome. And then Swerve did not look happy to see Kenny. And I don't know if it's interesting, because I don't know if there's like a past history there, or if it's like he's either upset that there's like one more person that he has to worry about going after the belt, or he's secretly trying to use Hangman, and he's just like, fuck, Kenny's gonna throw a wrench into my plans. Kind of like one of those people that's like, he's not supposed to be here. I don't know, it's just like very manipulating.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of took it as he knows that Kenny's a real threat in a way.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, you're the big man that they've been talking about, kind of thing. And like, maybe he's a little scared. I don't know.
But why would, because they teamed together during the Anarchy in the Arena match, remember? And they didn't seem to have a problem with each other then. But now it is, I guess my fun fantasy, what's it called, fan fiction-y theory is that it's the latter, where he's just like trying to use Hangman to get to the belt, and then he'll just like dump him right before he wins it, kind of like MJF did in the 4-way match at World's End.
Oh yeah.
But more logically, I guess it would make sense for him to just be upset that there's another person that he has to deal with.
Yeah, definitely, because he's like, damn, like, I already have to like deal with Hangman and Samoa Joe, or MJF, so, and Samoa Joe, I guess, because like he clearly wants back in on it. But I think the really big feud right now is MJF, Swerve, Hangman, and Kenny. Like, that's enough.
Right. But I feel like, he may also be worried that if it ever came to helping Swerve or helping Kenny, then he knows that he'll pick Kenny every time.
Yeah.
Because we know that Swerve and Hangman have to kind of come to blows eventually. So, I mean, it's easier to deal with one other person than it is to deal with two other people.
Yeah.
But that was a really good, I don't want to say juicy, said a lot without using a lot of words,
Yeah, definitely. And we also had Don Callis come out for this match as well. So not only did we have Kenny, Swerve, but Don Callis came out with Josh and Lance and Rocky Romero. And he basically interrupted Kenny and was like, if you want a match, you need to win matches. He offers up Josh. Kenny's like, I want to do it tonight. Let's go. And they're like, no. We do it what Daddy says, basically.
Oh, yeah.
and Don's like, no, we'll wrestle next week. So we get that match set up for next week on Dynamite. So really, this was, like you said, a big angle match to get everyone out and talking about
Yeah,
the
building
World
up for next
Championship.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What
it's
you
really
have to
good.
do, it's not like a regular pay-per-view, I guess, where all the plot lines that we've been trying to resolve weekly can resolve. You know, you still have to build interest into the next week's television show. So I can appreciate that they took a little bit of time to do that. It sucks that Kenny didn't get to wrestle during the big pay-per-view, you know. Maybe they taped the Collision.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they did tape it.
That's no telling. I'm just speculating, but hopefully the people, because the crowd seemed really excited to see him, and it would suck if he just came out for a promo segment, because theoretically you'd want to see him wrestle.
But yeah, next we get a backstage interview with Renee. Brody King is back
Oops.
there. John the translator, Jonathan Cruz, comes out and tells Brody to tell his friend Bandito to stop hitting him, stop beating his ass.
Right.
And it's really funny because Brody was like, haha, my turn. And then and he's like, where's a standby match? Again, Brody gets a standby match.
Get another standby match. Get excited.
Yeah, fucking Brody didn't even take his jacket off. It's just like another little 30-second quick little match. Bandito, he does a little spot on Bandito that he kind of biffs a little bit, where he's basically like honored to step in the ring with the new
first world
AEW
champion or something like that.
But he meant like the new world champion.
Yeah.
But that
he was
pretty
excited.
much it.
He was hyped. Yeah. Another like quick little match to establish Brody as a contender, maybe a little later in the year. He can have the Kyle Fletcher spot that he had last year, where he gets like a pay-per-view main event against the champ.
So.
Yeah, especially with all the MJF Bandito over the last couple of weeks, at least since Bandito won the ring.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to a little later because Bandito's in the main event. Oh my god!
You're dead. Ham of Doom.
Oh god, that was crazy. I thought I could take a second to pick my perk. But yeah, it's good to see John Cruz getting some love.
It was pretty funny, very comical.
Yeah, it's awesome. It wasn't just like a one-off thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna come out in his Serpentico. And you're like, no, and like literally Brody just pulls him from the back of the interview in his suit and everything. Just
Oh yeah, he fucking threw him out of the tunnel. Yeah, it was awesome.
So yeah, that was a quick little squash match, and then we get the video package for the main event for Bandito versus MJF. Nothing really special, just kind of getting the hype up for that. And then we lead into the #1 contender match for the tag team championships. We had Davis and Doyle premiering together. We got Jake Doyle and Mark Davis coming out as a tag team.
Apparently they're the new tag team guys for the Don Callis family.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
You're fine. We had Davis and Doyle versus Jet Speed, Gates of Agony, and the Young Bucks. For me, I instantly started this match in confusion and a little frustration, admittedly, because I was like, okay, why are Davis and Doyle in this match? They literally, like, 3 days ago, he premiered. And this is supposed to be for #1 contendership, where Jet Speed, Gates of Agony, not necessarily the Young Bucks, but like the other two, they have been there weekly fighting and winning matches and looking really good and being built up. So I was like, why would they put Davis and Doyle in this to be #1 contenders? They literally just premiered.
Right.
So I instantly was a little frustrated. I was like, okay, like I hope Jet Speed wins, because like they work hard, they deserve it. And basically they on commentary mentioned that the Young Bucks are the only ones to ever beat FTR so far. So they were really setting up that maybe the Young Bucks would win here, which even going to this, you said, you were like, they'll probably win. Just because it's the Young Bucks, right? They win everything.
The Young Bucks, they just came back, you know, they're gonna have it, they might not win the belts, but they're gonna have the title match, at least in Australia, because you'll want a big marquee match that people will be excited to see. The Young Bucks and FTR seems pretty exciting to me.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen that before though, haven't we? So many times.
Yeah, but it's not like, I don't think it's anything that people are tired of, because the last time they fought was at the last UK show. And that was like, I think CM Punk was still in the company.
Dang. Yeah. Overall, I thought it was a decent match. Admittedly, I did get distracted during it from our dog, so I don't feel like I got the full experience. I'll probably go back and watch it just because I know you said you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really awesome to see. Obviously, there are 2 teams of big men and 2 teams of little men, so they're gonna do big man, little man things. It was awesome. The 2 teams of the smaller guys were like lining up to hit Toa Leona, who they made look like $1 million again, and Mark Davis. They were just constantly they lined up, and so one of them took turns hitting him, and then they got pushed away, and then the second guy would come in and try his luck, I guess, trying to hit him. And then the Young Bucks and Jet Speed did like the high flying stuff after the big guys got like knocked out of the ring. It was kind of funny because Shivani or Excalibur was making a joke about the Gates of Agony. They had been out of the ring for a while, and Ricochet's just like, we're resting, we're biding our time till we know. And there was a really awesome, the Young Bucks and Jet Speed had 2 sequences in the match. The second one was better than the first, but it was good to see them wrestle, because it's kind of like, even though AEW is already, it's only like a company that's 5 or 6 years old, you can see there was like an era of like the old guard versus the new, because it's the Young Bucks versus a team that you could argue is as popular as the Young Bucks, at least in this moment. And then there was a part in the match where Toa Leona, he stands on the apron and he moonsaults onto a group of them, and it sounds like Ricochet legit wasn't expecting him to do that, because he's like cracking up and he's just like, what the fuck was that, you know? So it was funny to hear Ricochet like legitimately, because it looked like he was starting to say something and then he just couldn't finish what he had to say.
Yeah, it's really funny.
So yeah, and I guess the reason why Davis and Doyle got a lot of shine in this match, so they were putting this match to kind of be made to look credible, because Brian on commentary was like, can you believe this is the first time these guys are teaming together, blah blah blah.
Right.
And they were just commenting on how well they were both doing, and they really were doing well. They each fucking power bombed 2 guys, so they were going for...
No, I don't know if I remember that specifically. I just remember like watching it and I was like, dang, like Jet Speed and Young Bucks were working really well together. It was just basically like Jet Speed and the Young Bucks fighting the big guys, and then the big guys fought each other. It was really funny.
Yeah, there was a point in the match where the Young Bucks and Jet Speed try to hit like double knees, kind of like the Young Bucks finishing move, but Davis and Doyle each catch 2 of them, and then they get up and fucking double power bomb 2 guys each. I'm just like, oh my god, these guys are so fucking crazy. That's why I was so like hype after the match was over, because they were just doing like little things like that made, even though they weren't the most experienced tag team as far as like being together on TV, they were doing a really good job of setting these guys up to be like the next challenges for, I guess, FTR or maybe Edge and Christian after they win them.
Yeah, maybe. I would think so. And maybe, like, to your point, like maybe this is just a good push for them. I got to look at it that way, but I don't know. I was kind of really annoyed by this match. I was just like, I just didn't get it. And not everything is going to be satisfactory to everybody.
Yeah.
So I do want to go back and watch it though. Because you seemed really enthused by it. So I'm sure that there were moments that I really would enjoy.
Yeah, there was another moment in the match where Nick, he went to go do the move where Matt throws him up and Nick like drop kicks them away. They barely budged and fucking Nick almost landed right on top of Matt's head. They didn't fucking move. And then Ricochet and Jack Perry both come in to try and help their respective teams to win.
Yep.
But to no avail, because Doyle and Davis and Doyle ended up picking up the win, and they are the current #1 contenders for the tag team championships.
Yeah, it should be a nice little first feud for them. It's crazy that they're getting a belt opportunity though, like so out of nowhere. I don't know. We'll see. I'm a little salty if you can't tell, because I just believe that Jet Speed and like Gates of Agony just deserve it more. They've been there to put in the work, and I don't know. But yeah, Jack Perry comes out to attack Ricochet to try and help the Young Bucks, which was really cute. FTR comes out with Stokely in a wheelchair again.
Yeah, he's still in the fucking wheelchair even he was in the hospital for what, a day?
Yeah.
He's really milking it.
Yeah, and basically they just hold up the belts to Doyle and Davis, and they start brawling at each other. Pretty big brawl, actually.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a defense sometime soon, eh, guys?
Yeah, right?
If only there was like a special version of a pay-per-view that we want people to watch.
Yeah, so it should be interesting to see. It'll probably be a really good match, honestly, because like FTR can get down too, even though they're old.
Yeah, they work really well with bigger opponents, as you saw with Brody.
Oh yeah,
because they do like a really good job of selling Brody's size, but also they're just like they work together to like get him up, and it takes two of them to like hit a move on him. So I'm sure they'll definitely do their best to make him look like $1 million. But it's situations like these where it reminds me why they don't have the ranking system anymore. Were we dating when MJF and Wardlow finally split?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I want to say it was not long after CM Punk won the world title, because the ranking system was still a thing, and people were saying Wardlow's undefeated, like he's been undefeated forever, so why shouldn't he be the #1 contender? He should be the top of the ranks, and he should be the next one to get a shot, you know? But then all of a sudden, AEW is like, Jon Moxley's the #1 contender. Because he has had more overall matches than Wardlow, and the wins they're like way differently because he's had more matches overall, or some bullshit like that. So like I guess it's a good way to explain away why this random tag team who hasn't been around for a while is getting a shot.
True.
But overall, good match.
Yeah,
High
I'll have to go
flyers
back and
look
watch
good,
it.
big guys look good, everyone looked good.
Yeah. Then we got a Skyflight promo backstage with Zeta Steel. Skyflight calls out the Don Callis family and sets up a match with Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander, and El Clone. I'm really excited to see this match, like really excited.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really, really good with Skyflight, like with Dante and Darius, like being high flyers, and then you've got El Clone, like, oh my god, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird because oh shit, it happened again. Skyflight called out the Don Callis family, but Zeta called out Marina of the Death Rider specifically, so it's gonna be interesting seeing like where each of their like respective feuds keep going. I miss my shatter. I'm so down.
But yeah, it should be interesting to see how like the Skyflight plays into multiple different storylines, multiple different angles. I'm sure we'll see Death Riders and Skyflight again at some point. So yeah, we got that set up. I think that match is going to be on Dynamite next week. At least the Skyflight and Don Callis family one.
I hope so. They need a spot on Dynamite pretty soon.
Yeah. And then after that, we got our next match of the night: Triangle of Madness versus the Cosmic Babes of Wrath.
Oh yeah.
For me, the match was kind of predictable in a way. Like I really felt like that the Triangle of Madness needed to win here. I did not expect. Well, maybe I kind of did expect Chris to take the pin in a way. If not, like, what would be the point of Tekla and Chris feuding?
Yeah, because you'd expect Harley to take the pin.
Yeah.
Compared to Chris and Willow, she's the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's another way to set up a contender, I guess. So you really wouldn't expect to have. She doesn't have that many wins under her belt, as opposed to somebody say like who's another heel lady, like Megan Bayne, I guess. So logically, maybe you'd expect Megan to be the next contender, but Tekla, I guess pinning the champion in wrestling automatically makes you the #1 contender. It's just another like trope, I guess, that we have to deal with. Oh my god, I shattered them all.
Yeah, I'm about to slam into them.
Uh-oh.
I'm not slamming into them.
Oh my god, what's happening? Oh yeah.
Nice. But yeah, I didn't have a lot to say about this match. Again, it was kind of predictable.
Yeah, so it's I'm a little iffy about how specifically Chris and Willow and Harley are being portrayed, because I get it, they're like the 3 most popular women on the roster essentially, and you want to make them look dominant, I guess, because they are the champions, but
they literally have every belt.
Yeah, for most of the match it just seemed like they were kind of just toying around with, especially like Sky and Julia, but it got to the point where they were like just fucking around with Tekla, and I was just like, it's not making the Sisters of Sin look credible as a tag team, because they've just been losing all their matches, and also it doesn't make Tekla look like a credible contender, because she again is doing the fucking chicken shit heel thing when she's like hiding behind Sky and Julia and letting them like take all the hits while she runs away, you know. So it doesn't make her look credible, I guess, like this killer that commentary reminds us that she is. They're always just like, oh, she got fired from her job in Japan because she attacked the president of the company or something like that, trying to hype her up. But then during the match she's trying to run away to get away from fucking Sky and Chris. So like it sucks that they can't be more like the House of Black, speaking of Julia, where they were all kind of dominant in their own right, and maybe only they lose every once in a while, but for the majority of the time they're pretty successful, you know, as far as the wins and losses count, like in universe, I guess. But it was just weird because it doesn't do a good job. It's cool short term because like they're everyone's favorites, but long term it's not gonna do you guys any favors, because nobody's gonna seem credible as a contender, especially not Tekla.
Well, and it's so weird because they really are portraying her to be this like powerhouse woman, that she's gonna be the one. But like when it comes to wrestling, because like #1, she doesn't wrestle a lot, and #2, like again, she like really focuses on like Julia and Sky taking most of the hits. I don't know. I feel like it'll be a good match. Will she win? I don't know. Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see if she does, because at least she's got the muscle to back her up. But
do you think if she is to win, do you think she'll win in Australia?
I don't know, because they've also got Revolution as well, and you don't want to do too many title changes before an actual pay-per-view, you know?
Yeah.
Because then it's not. Maybe they'll switch to tag team. No, but Harley's from Australia. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, I should be curious.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Let's not try to predict the future.
Right.
Which I know everybody tries to do. It's wrestling, you know? So yeah. Not long after the Triangle of Madness match, there was a promo with it was really cute because Jet Speed was having a little promo about how they really haven't been having a lot of luck in the tag division recently, and right before they got a chance to give their opinions, Swerve came out and talked to them, talking about how Swerve was more or less the reason why Kevin Knight got the attention of AEW. Well, it had a lot to do with Kevin being really talented, but as far he had that advocate in Swerve, which is awesome to hear and see. And then so that was good. And then after Swerve came out, Hangman like slunks his way into the frame. A shy little boy. He's just like, hey guys.
It was really cute.
It was really cute. He just walked up. He was like, hey, I have a little problem, and his name is Samoa Joe. So would you like to help me beat the Ops and get the trios titles off of him?
Yep.
So yeah,
they were so excited. Jet Speed was so excited.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because like the whole time they weren't able to talk because it kept getting interrupted. But like finally they got to express their excitement with teaming up with Hangman. And they're like, oh my god, are you serious? And it was just really cute to see that celebration, especially after seeing them lose the #1 contendership for the tag team titles, because I was again really disappointed. So it was like, okay, maybe there's a chance that they win these trios titles, which would be cool. But at the same time, I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, knowing what we know now about, my god, about a certain someone, pretty much gave the spoilers away, gave the game away.
Yeah, it did, which we'll talk about more on the Collision episode, because we find out that basically there's some roster changes that are the reason why that this match is happening. We come to find out. So
oh god. I'm so sorry. I accidentally unplugged my headset.
Oh, you're good. I was just saying that we'll find out.
This mercy keeps rezzing me. I want to die. I want to die. I want to be someone else besides Reinhardt.
To be free.
Release me. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so should be interesting. We'll talk about on the Collision review what is happening with that. Unfortunately, I think we know the outcome of that match, but
it'll be fun to see. Like, we love the Ops, we love Shibata, we love Speedball and Jet Speed and Hangman. So
yeah, so it'll be a good match regardless if we know the outcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we get notification or like a little video advertisement that AEW has signed the Rascals.
Oh yeah, the Rascals.
TNA, you said?
Yeah, they're a TNA group. I don't know. It's just that's all I really know about the Rascals. Maybe I should educate myself. But they seem like a pretty promising group. Like, I don't know if they decided not to re-sign with TNA or they just decided not to renew their contracts. But apparently it's a group of 4, so maybe they can breathe some life into either the tag or the trios division. Maybe both.
Yeah, maybe both.
Just
exactly.
Couple solid contenders for either spot.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they're about. They look cool.
Yeah. Oops.
They look cool. And then we go to our main event of the night of Maximum Carnage, and it is Bandito versus MJF for the World Championship.
Yeah, it's crazy. There were only like 4 matches on the card.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But I felt like they got ample time. It was another good, heavy promo week, but also like the matches got good, other than the Brody match, of course.
Yeah.
But Bandito looks so good. Oh my god. And they loved him there. They were really on fire, the audience, for Bandito. They're really hype. Shout out to Phoenix.
He came out dressed as an Aztec warrior, and MJF had his whole spiel with the robe, and he had the banner come down as they were like announcing his name. God damn it. It was just a really solid wrestling match to end the show. I mentioned last week that I kind of hate how storyline wise, a lot of the main event scene is becoming the Max show. As far as like every other segment, it's all about how when this person wants to win the title off of Max. They mention they want the title, but Max has had some dealings with them at some point during their AEW career because he's been there from the beginning. But I will say that man can wrestle his ass off, and he makes whoever he's wrestling look incredible.
Definitely. MJF?
Yeah, MJF for sure. He'll talk all the shit and say the borderline like racist things on the microphone to kind of like rile you up, but then when it comes for him he's kind of like Ric Flair in that sense where he talks a big game, but the second someone comes out to confront him, he hides behind Arn Anderson, or he hides behind like Gene Okerlund or whatever, whoever's happens to be with him at the time. And then he does a really good job of selling. Like he's just, I hate to be the type of wrestling reviewer that's like, oh, it's a modern day Hogan and Andre. Just kind of like a blanket statement of like reference historic match from said year and then compare this match to it. But I was getting like Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat vibes. Ric Flair's like the rich boy. He came up from privilege, you know. He's always been the affluent type, I guess. He grew up in like New York. Bandito is like the working man's guy, you know. And like if not Ricky Steamboat, then Dusty Rhodes. I didn't feel right using Dusty Rhodes in the comparison because Bandito is a person of color. So Ricky Steamboat is a little more apropos because he is some form of Asian. I'm not familiar with his heritage. I don't look into people like that. But his name was the Dragon, and he came out with like a martial arts kind of like Karate Kid sort of gimmick. But it was just like very much the really good being a heel. Like he works the body part. He like calls on the ref to like kind of intervene, I guess, but then he takes advantage. He's working the shoulder, the arm that has been bugging Bandito ever since when they lost the belts at Full Gear. So that was from November. So it's like a month-long thing that's in the back of everyone's heads. They do a really good job of making people forget, reminding people of it when it does happen, you know? So there was just... there was just... Oh, I got the... Let me see.
That was just me and you, baby.
Oh, heck yeah. They did a lot of work with Bandito's arm because we knew that Bandito uses a lot of like his upper body, I guess. He's not a very flippy luchador, although he does it every once in a while. So he's working over his arm. He can't do the 21 plex. He can't do any of the moves his power moves that he's more or less known for. So MJF worked that a lot. But then also when Bandito did get the better of him, Max would like powder the outside. And in this particular instance, he goes over the barricade to try and get away from Bandito. But Bandito, he does a cross body from the top turnbuckle over the barricade onto Max, and like the distance that he gets is just amazing. I've never seen that before.
Oh yeah, that shit was crazy where he jumped off the rope into the audience. Oh my god. Yeah,
I mean, Max was as close as he could be to the barricade, so he doesn't have to go an extra couple of feet, but it was still crazy to see him do that because I don't think I've ever seen anybody cut like maybe Ricochet in WWE during the pandemic era. He hit a crossbody on Johnny TV, John Morrison, but he was sitting on the barricade. So he was sitting on the barricade, and then he caught the crossbody as like he was sitting, and he like fell back onto the floor. But Max was standing a couple feet from the barricade, so it's just that extra little distance, I guess, that make it look even more gnarly, I guess, to take and to fucking do. Bandito, like, he's just a really good luchador and a really good baby face, and like he's really redefined, at least to me, what lucha libre is, because you expected your Rey Mysterios, your Pentagon, Octagon, you know, but it was very much Rey Mysterio being 5'10" in a company where everyone's at least 6'5". He was the only one being able to do a lot of these moves, and it's really cool to see that them go back and forth with it. Oh my god, especially someone who wrestles Max's style, where it's still technical, but it's very methodical, opportunistic, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very like sleaze baggy.
Yeah. That's why I keep comparing him to Flair, because he's got like the same moves in his repertoire, I guess.
I thought it was a really good match. At the end, even like MJF recognized, like, holy shit, you're good. Like, you're gonna be world champion one day, kid.
Sorry, one more thing before we move on to the post match. There was a really awesome spot where they do a poison Rana. For those of you who aren't familiar, it's like a Hurricane Rana, except you jump on the guy's shoulders on their back, and Bandito brings Max down, spikes him on his head, but Max has enough momentum that he like flips back onto his feet. I just thought that was really cool, because there's a spot he did with Takeshita where Takeshita clotheslined him off the top of the cage or whatever, but the momentum kind of made Max land on his feet. It was very reminiscent of that spot. Another way that Max was able to make Bandito look good, you know, because he didn't have to do all that, you know. He could just like lay on the floor after it happens, but because he has the foresight to do the sell with the whole flip and everything, it makes Bandito just look that much better.
MJF really did do a good job at making Bandito's good, but he really made him look good.
Yeah, even though Max, like, we didn't really think that Bandito was gonna beat Max at the end of the day.
Nah.
But damn if they don't put on a good
show together. Yeah.
And then after the match, Max he grabs the microphone. He basically puts over Bandito. He says, "Tell you what, kid, even though I think he's like, listen here, kid, you're gonna be world champion one day." And he specifies, like, because he's already the Ring of Honor world champion. He's like, "You're gonna be AEW world champion one of these days. And because of that, or this is why I have to do this," or whatever. And he starts to beat him down post match, and that's what brings Brody out to kind of take advantage of the situation. Brody I assume he'll get a match here in a couple of weeks to kind of keep the Bandito Max storyline going for Revolution.
Yeah, hopefully.
So yeah, that was pretty much the show. We're excited for Collision. We're excited for Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see. I don't remember any matches that are supposedly happening besides the tag team match between Eddie and the Grizzly Young Vets and Ortiz. And I guess they announced the trios match during Dynamite, so we're gonna get a lot of tag team action on this episode of Collision. We love a tag team. We love tag team wrestling.
We do. Yeah, I think it'll be a good, hopefully a really good Maximum Carnage Collision. I do feel like that this was a solid, like, I had a lot of really good matches on it. If it had even more, it would definitely be pay-per-view level.
Yeah.
I hope that they keep building up Bandito. I think he deserves another shot. I mean, I would love to see him as world champion.
Yeah, imagine if at Revolution they pull the trigger. Is this in LA?
Oh. Yeah. So, I don't know. I thought it was a solid episode. I'm excited for Collision.
Yeah, me too. Oh god, I lost my high nude. All right, I think that's the show, guys. We breezed through it this time.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna watch at the time of this that we're recording. We're recording on Friday night. We're gonna be watching Collision on Sunday morning, probably. So we'll come back after we watch that and record the Collision review.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be right back with your Collision review. For us, it'll be a day and a half. For you, it'll be 2 seconds. So stick with us, guys.
Now recording.
Now recording. All right, we're back with the Collision review, the AEW Collision Maximum Carnage. I'm trying to get the little feet out from under my keyboard, and it's not working out. All right, I got it.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's
What
following
about-
up on the episode of Dynamite. What a crazy episode of Dynamite. The Bandito versus MJF world title was crazy.
Yes, very good.
Brian Keith versus Hangman. The whole love triangle between Swerve, Hangman, and Kenny. Brody's looks like he's gonna be a killer. And then there's a big tag match to determine the #1 contenders for FTR, which we got some follow up on this episode. Overall, a solid episode of Dynamite. I think I enjoyed this episode of Collision a little bit more than
Me
the
too.
Dynamite, honestly.
Me too, low-key. Like, I felt like it had a lot more, like, personality, if that makes sense. Like, the commentary, I felt like they had good comedic moments. And I don't know, a lot of stories were coming. Overall, it was just a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them saving the Takeshita, Fletcher,
Yeah.
all that stuff for Collision, because you and I are going to watch regardless because we're AEW pilled, but for the casual viewer, I guess, who may watch Dynamite but may not watch Collision, gives them a reason to watch, you know. We had Swerve on the show, we had Hangman on the show, we had the Ops on the show, so it's just a pretty stacked, card overall. We had about 4 or 5 matches on the card this time around, starting with Andrade versus Angelico. Like, he's making his return. Oh my god, to AEW after. Oh my god, it wasn't worth it.
Anyways, but yeah,
Andrade making his 17th return to AEW. Facing off against Angelico, who's been with the company since the beginning, since 2019.
It's good to see that he's getting a bunch more matches.
Yeah.
Although he seems to be the one that they put out there to lose, but at least we're getting to see him.
Yeah, they mentioned a lot of his, he learned a lot of his wrestling style from, he wrestled in Mexico a lot. So he's probably, a lot more prominent in CMLL.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
If I had to guess.
Because he's with Serpentico, right? So...
Yeah, Serpentico, and then like Serpentico and Luther used to be together, but ever since Tony went timeless, Luther's been with her. It was actually really funny. We should watch some of their old matches because Luther would use Serpentico as like a weapon almost.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's awesome. Yeah, Angelico, formerly of the Hybrid 2. If you're an OG AEW fan, you'll remember them. With Jack Evan. Wasn't a lot to the match, honestly. It was just, hey, Andrade's back. Let's showcase him a little.
Well, and honestly, like, to me, it was a little slow. And I was like, this is not... Like, you could tell, like, in my head, I'm like... This is not the Andrade I remember from AEW, and it's like you can tell he's been at WWE, like, because he just seems to like operate a little bit slower, and maybe he hasn't really wrestled recently, so he has to take some time to get back into form. But I was like, this is not the Andrade I remember.
He was, I think he was fucking with the crowd a lot more than.
Yeah,
like purposefully going slow, like because of anything. I think it was just like the fans were booing him, so he did the spot where he could win the match, but he just doesn't because he like wants to fuck around a little bit more, you know.
Yeah.
So he's just like. He was just kind of like rage baiting the fans for the most part.
Yeah.
The show was pre-taped, so on top of everything that happened on Dynamite, the people in Phoenix all watched all the craziness that happened on Collision as well. So especially during the beginning of the show, during the Andrade match as well, you could tell like they were tired, but they got hyped like when they needed to during the Skyflight match later on the card. They were getting really hyped. Oh, sorry, and I also wanted to point out that because Serpentico is out here with Angelico, that means that both Serpentico and John Cruz were on the show since it was pre-taped.
That's so cute. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for him. He got a double payday. That's one of the perks of getting being a luchador too. It's like you get 2 paychecks. This is not a good place to play wrecking ball. I can't grapple anywhere.
I know.
We're grappling.
Also, I'm bad at Rein.
Shit. Can someone kill me, please? Okay. Next we had a segment with the Rascals. They had a segment with Lexi, and it was very water vapory in the Rascals locker room, let's say. And it was kind of funny because Lexi, she started to ask him a question, and then she's like, man, I forgot what I was saying. Like she was getting a little contact high. Yeah. And so they just introduced themselves: Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz, and I forgot the last guy. I'm so sorry, whoever you are. I forgot your name and I didn't write it down.
I didn't either. I don't remember their names. I'm surprised you remember both of the other ones.
Yeah, Zachary Wentz I told you about last week, or I guess a couple days ago. And oh no, leave me alone. Leave me alone. And then Myron Reed was in the news a lot recently because of the whole bullshit with WWE, and they took Myron Reed off the card. It's been a whole thing. So I knew Myron Reed and I knew Zachary Wentz, but then the other guy I wasn't familiar with. But I feel bad about it. Okay. But anyway, cute little segment. Looks like there's a promo a little later on where the crew are talking about, who are these guys, you know? Like
Yeah.
we're not getting any opportunities, and we're mad that these guys are here, so we're gonna fight them, which I'm excited to see. I missed Action Andretti.
Yeah.
And Leo Rush is a good hand, you know. They're both ultimately really good wrestlers, so anytime we get to see them is exciting.
Definitely. So that should be a good first match. I feel like a good matchup for like I feel like Action Andretti and Leo Rush will show off who the Rascals are. Like I think they'll do a good job at that. So I foresee it being a good match.
Yeah, they'll both do flippy dippy stuff and jump on each other's heads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
good
cute.
way to put it.
Yeah, cute little promo. All right, next we had our second match. This one was a little longer than 2 minutes, which is good for us as fans. It was the Grizzled Young Veterans facing off against Eddie Kingston and Ortiz. Ortiz hasn't wrestled. They mentioned on commentary that he was out with injury, but I haven't seen him wrestle in years, it seems like. So it's nice. He's back and he's teaming with Eddie, who he has a history with. They apparently were in TNA together.
Oh, that's cute.
Way back when, yeah. Yeah, we're watching old TNAs, and there was a group there called LAX, Homicide and Hernandez. Eventually they split up or left TNA, and they basically formed a new team with the same name, LAX. And it was Santana and Ortiz.
Cute.
Yeah, so that's when I first heard about them.
Yeah, this match was good. I felt like Ortiz did a lot of the work.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For it, and then it kind of picked up for Eddie towards the end. He was taken. He was kind of sitting back a little bit, which was fine because it was Ortiz's returning match too. So
yeah, you want to highlight him as much as you can. And he was doing a lot of really cool stuff. He's like about the size of a luchador, so he's like nimble and he's like agile enough. He can do the flips. He can do like a lot of technical wrestling, I guess, because he is so small.
There was a funny spot in the match where Ortiz and Eddie were working together, and Eddie was like holding, I can't remember which one of the vets it was, but just holding him up while Ortiz kind of ran back and forth from the ropes, off the ropes, and like he kept going, and then finally he Ortiz lands the shot, and Ortiz lands the shot, and Eddie's like, Jesus, what took so long? Why'd you take so long? And Ortiz, like, he was like, I don't know, man. Like, he's just doing his thing. It was just really funny.
He's got to get his cardio in. You don't know when he's going to step back in the ring.
Yeah, it was really funny, though.
really good. They had Grizzled Young Veterans had a lot of really fun tag team spots, just really working together well.
Eddie almost gets knocked out by one of the vets. I thought that was really good to, or like
Oh,
cool
Lord.
to see.
But then Eddie, he got the hot tag and ultimately ended up getting the win for his team. I don't think there was ever any doubt that they were gonna win. Eddie's just way too popular. I kind of expected more from the Grizzled Young Veterans. I don't know. They just kind of seem to have fallen through the cracks, but at least they're getting matches on Collision now.
Yeah, definitely. It was nice to see because it has been a while since we've seen them wrestle. And I think that I thought that they had a really good few spots to make them look good. Hopefully we see more of them because like you said, they kind of fallen off. I didn't mean to nano you, but okay.
It'll work.
Then after that, we get a rerun of Triangle of Madness's win against the Cosmic Babes of Wrath. It's just a little video highlight, and then that leads into the Cosmic Babes of Wrath having a little backstage after match debrief where they're apologizing to each other. Like, very cringe, honestly.
They're just such good friends, you guys.
Yeah.
Look how good we're friends we are.
Chris says, like, oh, I would take a billet for any of you guys, for both of you guys, as long as it means that I can be out there with my best friends. And it's just like, oh, they're really playing it up, which, fine. You know, I think that that's what they're going for.
Holy shit, baby.
Hell yeah. So, yeah, she threatens Tekla and basically says, come at me, bro. Like, you got the pin on me. What do you want? And so, anytime, anywhere, I guess we'll see that challenge come through.
Yeah.
For,
hopefully at the pay-per-view sometime soon.
Yeah. Did you have anything else to say about that?
No, not necessarily. We, there wasn't a lot to say outside of we got most of it on Dynamite because they had that trios match that went on a little bit too long, and because the heels won, the baby faces gotta get a word in, you know, to keep everyone fairsies.
Yeah, give them all like a chance.
Yeah. To
kind of talk it out.
Yeah, because yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna move on.
I do want to bring up the fact during the Eddie match that Ortiz did cheat.
Oh,
so,
did I not catch that?
Yeah, so one of the vets got pushed like in between the top and the middle rope, and Ortiz had the baseballs and the sock, and he whacked him with it.
Oh, I must have been taking notes when that happened.
Yeah, and then Eddie either pinned him or he hit a move on him and pinned him. But yeah, they won through nefarious means.
Oh, that's even more rough. What the heck?
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna submit themselves as heels or cheaters. I don't know.
Because like Eddie looked like he either didn't know what happened or he like didn't agree with it, I guess. And it might be a little too soon to assume, you know, whether he approves of it or not. But like Eddie's a baby face, and we'd assume Ortiz is coming back as a baby face. They could, you know, be invoking like Eddie Guerrero, I guess, in the sense that lying, cheating, and stealing, you know. But you can do it as a baby face if you're over. But yeah, that's it. I apologize to backtrack.
No, you're good. Next up, we got a highlight reel from the first time that Jet Speed teamed with Hangman to kind of give a little context to the main event. That, you know, this wasn't out of nowhere. They've had experience teaming together, and that he trusts them going into the trios match for the trios titles. And then we get a promo with FTR and freaking Stokely still in his wheelchair.
Even though it's been like a month since it's been a couple weeks, I guess, since it happened.
Yeah.
There's definitely milking it for the foundation. He wants that GoFundMe money.
Yeah. They talked about the upcoming defense coming off of Dynamite where Davis and Doyle got the first or the #1 contender match for the tag team titles. And I actually kind of respected the way that they went about it. Specifically Stokely, he's like, I'm not going to be like everyone else, like bashing. He's like, congratulations to them. And you know, when Dax came to talking, he was like, yeah, you may have won, but what makes you think that you get a match like after winning one match, you know? And so
yeah, they're undefeated. They have the best win rate in the company.
Yeah, so and like Stokely was really sweet about it. He's like, I'm glad that pro wrestlers actually look like pro wrestlers. Like he misses those days. So just kind of like,
which is rich coming from him.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very interesting.
Okay, put your shield down.
Very interesting promo from FTR because they're supposed to be the bad guys. And I mean, Dax, he really did play up the bad guy part of it. Like he like told Tony to ask him what's his like the thing he hates the most about. It's
like, ask me what you think I hate the most about these people is. And like before he asked that question, they were doing the ball chant at him. And so naturally, wrestling fans being who they are, took the opportunity to answer the question for him and say, "We have hair." They start chanting, "We have hair."
Which hilarious.
Yes. Never change, wrestling fans.
I love wrestling so much. The people are so funny.
And Cash also references, they're talking about like nobody knowing who they are. Cash says, you know, Jake something, you know, which is awesome. It's a little nod to his name before joining AEW. And I hope it eventually leads to a babyface turn. Because he's Jake Doyle now because he's in the family, you know. He's a bad guy, but then hopefully eventually when he breaks off to do his own thing, he's like, I'm not Jake Doyle, I'm Jake something. And he like fucking rips a t-shirt off and it just has the word something on it.
That's so funny. That would be great. But yeah, I thought it was a really good promo. I think Stokely's reaction to the "we have hair" was really funny, and then Nigel.
Oh yeah, Nigel broke, and then Stokely. He looked like he was breaking. He had to like fucking tuck his head into like his lap so the camera didn't see him.
Yeah, it was really funny. Yeah, basically they don't think it's right that they get a match, but they understand it's kind of out their discretion now. They're just waiting on them to make the call of when and where, but they get the match.
Mark Davis is from Australia, so if I had to guess, they're gonna do it in Australia.
I would think so too. Do you think they're gonna win?
No. I think they're still gonna wait on Adam Copeland to come back and...
Yeah, that'll probably be the next one, right? You think?
Yeah, they'll have a short title reign maybe for the Pop in the UK. I imagine they would lose him before the end of the year, if not at World's End. Just have a short little nostalgia run with him.
Yeah.
And then give him to like Jet Speed or something.
Yeah. Should be fun. I'm excited to see that, but I hope that we at least get a really good match. I do feel like based off of what we saw with the #1 contendership and knowing how FTR is, like, they're really good at what they do. I think it'll be a really, really, really good match. So excited to see that.
Yeah, if anything, it'll be a good wrestling match. We can at least count on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, one last thing. Sorry, this is a pretty awkward time to bring it up, but so they had Tony on the stage introducing FTR, and in the moment I was just like, Tony, do you not remember the feud that you guys had with FTR? How you were talking shit and they were threatening to kill you?
Oh, yeah.
And now you're like, you're just introducing them for an interview segment like nothing happened, I guess. And I'm like, Nigel lost that feud on your behalf. Like these guys should still fucking hate you, you know, but it's not like you know, we kicked your ass, but you have our respect, Mr. Schiavone. Like, you lost that feud. We're just not addressing it.
Was it this segment that they even like mentioned like, how you doing, Nigel?
Yeah, Dax was like, yes, I'm glad we can finally be professional. Be okay. Yeah. But then Nigel was still a little resentful, I guess. He was still a little, there's still a look about him like, fuck these guys, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he punched them into me! Fuck you, Doomfist.
Damn.
Okay, so next up we had a short little segment that we mentioned earlier. The crew and Lacey Lane had their little segment with challenging the ops. Not the ops, the Rascals.
Rascals, yep.
Yeah.
A little welcome match, if you will.
So that'll probably be on next week's Collision, maybe?
Yeah, if not...
I imagine they'd want to wrestle sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Collision, I would think is where it would be.
And then after that, we had our first women's match of the night. But both matches didn't really get a ton of time, which kind of sucks considering they have one of the best women's divisions in the world. It was Zeta Steel, new recruit. She came in after being released from NXT. This is her second match, I think. She wrestled on like Ring of Honor or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because they showed like a little video of her.
Oh yeah, she had a little promo package. She's like, this women's division just got real. She's the real deal. Holyfield. But yeah, that was interesting. No, what'd you say?
Hold on. Did you hear that?
Where are you? Who are you?
I'm Sojourn.
I don't. It's go time.
No, I did the it's about to get real.
Oh, I'm in the air. Oh god, I'm dead now. Do it now. I can probably hear you.
Thank you for healing me, because I definitely had to take my hand off the mouse, off the trigger to do that. Okay.
So Zeta felt disrespected and asked for the match, which I guess is about as good a reason as you need. Marina came out and killed her.
Yeah, not much to really say.
She had a bit of a little bit offensive flurry at the beginning, but then most of it was Marina just kind of kicking her around and then choking her out with the mother's milk.
Mother's milk.
Mother's milk.
This one was definitely, I love John on commentary. He was on commentary. And it kind of leads into a little bit more stuff that goes on to commentary. We get Kyle's music that hits, and Kyle, Josh, and El Clone.
Yeah, they come out for a trios match.
Yes, sorry.
But more importantly, Don Callis comes out to join them on commentary, and I'm like, okay, so John and Don Callis are both going to be on commentary. I wonder how long it's going to take John to want to kill Don, basically. And it didn't take long. While Kyle was making his entrance, Nigel... He was stirring the pot, man. It was crazy. He was reminding John of exactly what happened during the Continental Classic about, oh my god, I spawned right where they were and I died immediately.
I died too.
That's crazy. So he was like, yeah, do you remember when... so he mentioned Kyle, and then John said something along the lines of, he almost killed me. And then Nigel said to John, you almost killed him, referring to the spot where they did that back suplex off the top. Kyle landed on his fucking neck. And John's just like, yeah, you get one on me, I'm gonna get two on you, or something like that. You know, basically like eye for an eye. And then he's just like, oh yeah, and also remember Kyle had that screwdriver hidden in the turnbuckle, but he wasn't able to use it because Okada used it beforehand. Don wasn't even at the fucking announce table yet. and Nigel was starting shit between them. That's when Don gets to the desk and he starts running down the Continental Classic, and he starts running down John, especially because he's like, you have something that we want, and I have enough people that in my family that we can eventually make that happen. John was getting not pissed, but he was just getting annoyed.
Yeah, you could tell he was bothered or like agitated.
Yeah. And so Don brings up the fact that Takeshita beat him, and John's just like, I don't give a fuck that Takeshita beat me, but he kind of does.
He's like, what about Takeshita?
Yeah, he's like, you tell Takeshita to find me. Like, I don't need you to tell me. that Takeshita beat me. I need Takeshita to come find me, basically. Like, this isn't about you. And they're like basically running down each other's like philosophies, because they're both a family, but there's a difference between like what John does and what the Don Callis family does. It's really hard to. I'm trying not to say Don and John, Don and John, Don and John over and over again.
Yeah.
If you can't
but
tell.
have to.
You have. So it ends up working out. Don starts getting up to like leave, essentially, because he's like running away because he doesn't want Don to attack him again. For those of you who aren't familiar, a couple of years ago in AEW, the Blackpool Combat Club were fighting the Elite or something like that. John attacked Don during like a backstage segment while like Kenny or whoever wasn't around. That's why he has that huge gash on his forehead, is because he fell into like a TV stand or something and he like cut himself open, like legit.
Which is crazy, like to think like he did that.
Yeah, and the fact that they're like, Don is always calling back to it. Anytime John is mentioned, he's just like, yeah, he fucking knocked me into this and I have this gash in my head because of him. So it never fails. So it's awesome because they always have a reason to dislike each other. So you don't need a whole bunch of story to like build up to anytime their groups want to fight, you know?
Right.
Don's always going to have that hatred of long-term storytelling at its finest. So all that before the match even started. So John gets up to leave the commentary table and Nigel is just like, two birds, one stone, basically, saying I got rid of both of them, you know. I guess he didn't want to deal with it, but he is just like a professional. Like he's a heel commentator, but you know he's funny. So a lot of it comes out as just like dry sarcasm, like British humor. And so John starts to make his way. I don't know if he's chasing Don down or if he's just going out to support the Death Riders, but. More people come out and attack John from behind, and that brings out the Death Riders. And so much shit is happening. I wrote down. I still don't know who they're fighting.
Yeah, like who's in this match? Yeah, because it's like, hello, where's the match?
Like, yeah. I'd assume it was just one of those segments where like it's announced as a match, but then so much chaos happens that they're just like, referees had to call it off, you guys. So much shit just happened.
Yeah, which they kind of were playing it off like that.
Yeah.
But eventually, Skyflight does come out. But yeah, it was.
Yeah,
like,
they did a fucking spot where they jumped onto the Don Callis family, but there's like no room. There's like barely any room between the ring and the barricades. So like a couple of them hit their fucking ankles on the barricade, and I worry that like people are gonna just like crack the back of their heads on the apron because there's just not enough room, and so they just try to undershoot it, but then they undershoot it a little too much and die. But anyway, yeah, they go to commercial after getting control back, and everybody gets sent back to the locker room. And so yeah, we finally have our matches: Skyflight against El Clone, Kyle Fletcher, and Josh Alexander. I imagine they're building up the John and Kenny, or Josh Alexander and Kenny feud. So because what happens in the main event, I imagine they're all gonna kind of interact at some point. It's a really good match. Really showcased a lot of Kyle, Josh, and El Clone out to be like the top guys, I guess, of the Don Callis family. Since Okada's probably gonna be leaving soon. It was a decent match. It's good to see Skyflight get on TV 2 segments in a row, or 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
3 weeks in a row if you count the match where it's just Dante. So do you want to run down the post match? What happened after the match ended?
I just wanted to take a few notes on the commentary. I really enjoyed Don Callis this week. I mean, like the whole Don and John thing was really good. One thing I wanted to highlight is he mentioned that he was looking to add 4 new members. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh yeah.
4 new members to the Don Callis family. So, and it kind of plays into what John was saying is like, you know, you're not a family, like you don't have what we have kind of thing. Yeah. So, it should be interesting. Like if we've got to start getting rid of some people for sure, because it's getting a little ridiculous. Right. And he acknowledges that people are telling him that, that hey, maybe you don't need to add so many people.
Right.
So that happened, and then there were a couple of funny lines where Don lays into Tony Schiavone, and like he calls him a sleazy feline cat weasel. I thought that was really funny.
Oh yeah.
So that in combination with everything that happened on the match too, I just thought that this was really, really good. And honestly, like, I have loved what the Don Callis family has become. Like, I think that they really have done a good job. But yeah. So after the match, Takeshita comes out after Kyle and them win, and he comes out to celebrate with them. But what's the most interesting thing that happened is Dawn was like, "Welcome back, Takesha," you know, clapping for him and just like giving him like appreciation that he's out there to celebrate with the win that they just had.
Yeah.
But Takesha ignores him, and he walks straight past him and goes to hug Kyle.
Yeah.
And doesn't even acknowledge the other, like, he doesn't really acknowledge Josh Alexander either.
No, he doesn't.
Or, you know,
or Don, or just anybody.
Yeah.
He just acknowledges that
Kyle,
yeah, which is awesome because of what happened at World's End. We know now there's beef. I mean, and Kyle knows. He was blind, but now he sees.
So do you think that, because I was like, when that happened, I was like, oh my God, I love this. Like, they're going to go babyface together. They're going to become a tag team together. They're leaving the Don Callis family. Do you think that that's going to happen?
I don't know. I'd like them to have a relationship similar to Hangman and Swerve, where they're not like a full-blown tag team. So I feel like with the Rascals coming in, and Jet Speed, and Eddie Kingston and Ortiz, and the Grizzle Young Vets, and the Young Bucks, and Jurassic Express isn't really. They're unfortunately hurt, which kind of bummed me out. But any like combination of the Don Callis family, I'd like them to have a relationship where they're kind of like their own thing, but they're not like a full-blown tag team with like a name and matching gear, and they go for the tag belts, you know.
Yeah, like just for story purposes can team together.
Yeah.
But they kind of do their own thing.
Yeah. So it's not like a faction. It's just two guys who help each other out every once in a while.
Yeah, I can see. I like that. I do think that I'm ready for them to leave the Don Callis family and kind of do their own thing.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're ready for it. They got what they needed, but they're stars, man.
Yeah, they're making a lot of moves as far as figuring out who they want to push at the beginning of the year, because like they're putting over Jet Speed individually and as a tag team. They're putting over like Takeshita and Kyle because it's what they've been talking about for a while now, about the future, about who's going to take over, who's going to wrestle, be there to carry AEW after. Because Kenny's holding on by a thread, Hangman's no spring chicken, the Bucks are probably pretty close to retiring as well, so you'd expect them they definitely want to start moving stuff forward as far as who's going to be the main event scene for the next 5 years, 10 years. If it's going to be MJF and a bunch of those guys, then I guess now is as good a time as any to start it. Yeah, it's good. Go Kyle. Sorry, I don't want to get off on another tangent. Go Kyle.
Go Kyle, go Takesha. You deserve everything that you're getting.
Yeah.
If not more, you deserve more. Next up we have Roderick and Orange backstage with Lexi, and they're talking about, Roderick wants to talk about Claudio with everything, with all the nasty looks that they've been giving each other over the last few shows. And Orange is like hyping him up, and it's like, yeah. You got this. And Roderick's like, this isn't an us thing. This is a me thing.
He wrestled Hechicero in Mexico, and because he beat Hechicero, he's now the #1 contender for the CMLL world title, which is what Claudio has. And then Orange was like, I tried to be out there to support you, but you wouldn't let me, basically. And then that's what kind of got Roderick thinking about Claudio. And then he's very matter of fact, I guess. And he tries to cut the promo segment short, but
Mark comes out.
Yeah,
he's like, you want to stick around for this, Roddy? Like, basically that they have all the belts, and
he's just basically reminding him that he has friends no matter how much he doesn't want them, and he has beef with El Clone because of what he did to Hologram, which is, it seems like, been a while now that Hologram's been out. So I guess they're building up El Clone for his return. I imagine he'll be going back soon.
Makes sense. Yeah, but I hope they take their time with it, you know. I kind of like what he's doing.
Yeah.
I want him to get his time before they, like, I want them to build El Clone up as big as they can.
Right.
For Hologram's return.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
So yeah.
Goddamn, sir. There was another little promo segment hyping Max up. He apparently wrestled at an indie show for Limitless Wrestling, and he defended the AEW championship there. And it's funny because I made comparisons to Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat during the Bandito match on Wednesday, and this segment that he cut reminded me a lot of the territory days, because he called himself a traveling champion. So if you were the best guy in a territory, if you were the world champion in a certain territory, you would either like go to different promotions to your belt. Oh my god, the server closed to an excessive workshop script load.
I was wondering why my healing wasn't going through.
Is it starting over? Oh my god, it's starting over.
Dang.
That's crazy. I'll use my mythic weapon, damn it. So yeah, Max wrestled for a promotion called Limitless Wrestling, and obviously he wasn't gonna drop the title to a random indie wrestler. That would be crazy. But it was nice. It was just promoting Max more than anything. It's like stroking his ego, because he's like, I'm a traveling champion. I'm like all the greats. And he said something about sorry, we can move on to the next bit.
Right, next up, we've got a match, our second women's match. Megan Bain and the returning Penelope Ford versus Danielle Camilla and Diva Vaughn, which I haven't
Viva
seen.
Van and Camilla something. I didn't.
Danielle Camilla.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice to see Penelope back.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. She came out in the sling, and then she kind of like broke it off, being like, I'm back, bitches.
Yeah.
And so she got to wrestle another match. It's good that they kept the act with her and Megan going.
Marina was still ringside because they had been doing the Mega Problems, so at least they kept with that.
Yeah, I like the flow of this show a lot. Because like the segments intersected, and people were, take advantage of the fact that people are already out there. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat the jobbers, but they beat the jobbers with the Doomsday device, and that move came into a little bit of controversy back in around November time, because during the Blood and Guts match, or the War Games match for the men in WWE, they did a Doomsday device on the Braun Breaker, and he basically landed on the back of his fucking head. So we're just like, it's 2025 now, can we stop falling on our heads for people's entertainment, essentially?
For real.
And then as far as I'm aware, like, people were calling WWE unsafe because the people just like land on the back of their head when they take that move. It's almost a guarantee, unless you just fully do like a full backflip and land on your stomach and stuff like that. So there were calls to ban it because you like break your neck, that's the back of your head, that's where your fucking spinal cord is, that's where your head connects to your spinal cord, blah blah blah. So it's unsafe. And then like a month later at World's End, Kyle does that fucking thing where he lands on his fucking head, and it's arguably even worse. People who are critical of both WWE and AEW are, both of you guys need to stop this, but the more tribalistic fans who are like, look at WWE or look at AEW, look at what they're doing, allowing their wrestlers to fucking land on their necks for people's entertainment, blah blah blah. I thought this wasn't the 80s anymore, blah blah blah. So ban the Doomsday device. It doesn't matter who does it. People don't need to be fucking falling on their neck.
Right, for sure.
Especially from fucking 5 or 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Because Megan's a tall girl. Anyway, sorry about the tangent.
You're good.
So post match, Tony and Mina came out to cut a promo, and Tony got bleeped.
Yeah.
Tony got bleeped because she was talking about the coochie. Apparently, a lot of the more prudish wrestling fans are all like, "Oh my god, why is she talking so dirty?
Why is she dirty?"
Yeah. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, Timeless Love Bombs come out. They have a cute... Tony is always so good on the mic, and Mina even got into it really cute. Tony says you can't hide behind those 2 skirts, hinting at, like, you know, Marina is just using the Megan Bain and Penelope to hide behind.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting considering during the match with Tony, Marina was kind of dominating. Like, she had the advantage throughout the majority of the match. So it's kind of interesting that Tony's like, "Where are you, Marina? Why are you hiding from me?" You know, because at no point did Marina's character seem like she was running. In fact, it seems like they have bigger fish to fry with the Don Callis family starting now. So I think they're gonna have like a quick little... They had a match announced for Dynamite, so hopefully this is where they settle things and can go their separate ways. Yeah, because I mean, this has been going on. The Blood and Guts was in November, so
yeah, November. Yeah, I was gonna say October, but it definitely was November.
We were there. It was your birthday present.
Yep. So yeah, and Tony or Mina basically said, we haven't forgotten everything that you've done. We're not gonna stop until you guys pay.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully this is the end to this and puts it to bed.
Yeah, hopefully they pull a Darby and Pac and just wrap a neat little bow on it like they did last week.
Yeah, just tie it up.
Yeah.
Next we see Swerve backstage with Lexi talking about what Swerve's plan is, and he basically says just to win.
Yeah, he sounded really annoyed because Lexi brought up Kenny.
Yeah.
And he's just like, why would you ask me a stupid question like that? I'm gonna win. I always win.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do you expect? I'm gonna win. This is nothing different. And then Kevin Knight asks for some time. So we see Kevin come out and he says that, you know, he thought about what happened on Dynamite and he agrees, and saying, like, you know, he constantly hears that he's the future, but he says the future's now, basically, because, like, he's having some of the best matches of his career, and, you know, clearly he's a name to be talked about because people keep just saying that he's gonna be a champion. He's gonna be the next big thing, and so he really wants to fight Swerve. He's like, I'm ready for this, and Swerve says, you know, go out and do something, hinting at later tonight the Trios Championship. He's like, go out and start winning. You died, brother. Go out and start winning, and we'll talk about having a match. And he's like, you know, I do believe you're going to be a champion in about 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, he said it was another reference to WWE, because everyone's clowning on WWE because the whole, like, old people problem, you know, all their champions are in their 40s at the very least. No WWE champion has been born later than 1990, essentially.
So we're old.
So yeah, we're old, and also everyone in WWE is very old. Oops, I tried to use my alt, but That took too long.
Oh no.
So yeah, even that, yeah, they announced a match between Swerve and Kevin for next week as well. So that's gonna be a good match as well. And a little later on in the show, they also announced a street fight between the Death Riders and I believe I saw Lance Archer and Rocky Romero.
And yeah.
And then one more person. I can't remember
maybe
who
Josh
it
Alexander?
is. Possibly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I imagine that'll be the main event, possibly.
Yeah, I would expect so. Next up, we get our next match of the night. This is for the person that will be the next to fight Ricochet for his national title.
Yeah, it's Jungle Boy.
Jungle Jack Perry versus Anthony Bowens, and we do get Ricochet on commentary. This is a really cute start, the wholesome start to the match. They really show respect for each other. They're both, you know, not heels right now in a sense. And they have a little gentleman's handshake, which is really, really cute. I thought it was a nice. And they even have like a couple of scissor spots. Granted, it kind of turns south when Jungle Jack bites Anthony's fingers after doing
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
There's a spot that they did right before commercial where Jack he's been landing on his ass a lot on some concrete. And
you even commented on that in the match. You're like, damn, he's been falling a lot on his butt.
Yeah, that's just gonna be crazy. Like, he's gonna fucking break his tailbone and he's not gonna be able to sit comfortably for the rest of his life, you know. The huge pro wrestler stuff. And after they cut the commercials, you hear Jack call the referee, and he wants the ref to take his elbow and like not rub his ass, but kind of like massage his butt cheek, and like he even smacks his ass. He like smacks it twice. He's like, right here, big boy. He's like, no. Put your elbow in here. Yeah. And the ref's just like, I'm not touching your ass, dude.
Yeah, he's like, I can't put my arm in your ass, dude.
It was really funny. Yeah.
Really, really funny.
The stuff that you catch. Like, I love the streams where it doesn't do like picture in picture or anything. Yeah. Number one, because I hate ads, but number two, because of shit like that you catch. It reminds me of like AEW Dark when it first started, how it was kind of it was on YouTube, so Excalibur and Taz just fucking said whatever they wanted.
They just didn't care. Yeah,
basically.
It was on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
they didn't have anybody to answer to.
Yeah, it was really cool. So shit. I looked down at my notes.
It happened.
So yeah, oh my god, I'm alive. I got another tree.
Oh my god, you saved me.
Oh shit. I'm the best. Oh shit.
I'll save you.
So post-match, help me.
I got you, baby.
Thank you. Post-match, Jack makes his way up the ramp to head to the back, and he sees Ricochet on commentary. And Ricochet is just like, what? You're not gonna do nothing? I'll put my feet up. That's how much you're not gonna do nothing.
Oh shit.
It was really funny, yeah. And then Jack like runs at him and does a Darby where he just like fucking throws himself into him and like knocks him out of the seat, and then Ricochet just kind of powders out to the outside. And it's really funny. No Gates of Agony to help, I guess.
Yeah, that was a little strange.
Yeah.
Granted, if they were pre-filming this too, they had had a match previously.
Oh yeah, they were probably fucking chilling.
Exhausted.
So this next segment is where we got the Death Riders promo segment where they talked about the definition of family and who your real family is, and Don Callis' family isn't a family. And it's just a Death Riders promo, which they're always really good, if not a little rambly.
Yeah, they just talk. They like to talk.
Yeah, it was funny because Daniel Garcia, I like his new promo style of shouting everything he has to say and trying to do it in less than a minute.
Yeah.
He's like, here's what you ought to know, understand, man. You're a family. We're not a family. We're a family. And this is what calls family when you're at your lowest. And just John walks up and like pats him on the shoulder.
He's like, calm down. Yeah.
It's like, good job, man. I got it from here.
Right.
And John, he did a really good job of reminding me that this is a group of really awesome wrestlers, 3 of the best wrestlers in the world, and 2 like, and Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta, who are like, they're good in their own right, but your main 3 are Claudio, John, and Pac. So it just, when John started talking, I'm just like, oh my god, it made me really excited to see Don Callis and the Death Riders go at it, you know. Yeah, because they've always kind of coexisted, I guess, but never really interacted. It even got to a point where I can't remember what episode of Dynamite it was, but like during Jon Moxley's like big title reign, they were on commentary and they're just like, I mean, you guys have like 14 people in your group. Why don't you try and do something about the Death Riders? Like, do none of you guys want to be world champion? And they're just like, that's a problem for another day. Like, we'll cross that. Yeah, we have to fight Kenny Omega for 3 years. We're booked, brother. So yeah, that was interesting. And so like now, I imagine they're gonna feud. Maybe they're building to Anarchy in the Arena or something in a Revolution. The thing I wrote down about the promo segment was, holy shit, ... because I'm excited to see like those 5 guys go against like Kyle, Takeshita, and Josh and Lance and all those guys, because they would like, I don't know, it just seems like a lot of fun. This is gonna be a bunch of craziness, a bunch of nonsense. Okay, and then the next segment was the main event. We didn't talk about it at the beginning of the show, but sorry, because the Collision was pre-taped right after the Dynamite, we were doing our best to avoid spoilers, and so that meant we missed out on hearing the news that Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Hobbs, has signed to WWE. Initially, I was a little annoyed, a little upset, but then I listened to Wrestle Talk's podcast talking about the episode of Dynamite and how they don't understand how you can be like loyal to a company like that. Not like that, but just like loyal to a wrestling company in general. And one of the guys during the review, he said, love the wrestlers, not the company, you know. I don't like AEW, I like Will Hobbs. Yeah. And just really put stuff in perspective for me. Like, I was annoyed because we see how WWE has been acting as far as like openly showing like a MAGA president on their TV show, and like Linda McMahon is the Secretary of Education, and she's not exactly doing the best job. So you'd expect someone like Hobbs, who's a person of color, to like not succeed, you know. But I get it, it's his life, you know, if he wants to try and see what he can do in WWE, especially after Mark Henry left and it seemed like Mark was gonna be like some sort of mentor figure to Hobbs in AEW, because he passed, like he gave him his finisher, like similar to how Darby, he got the Scorpion Deathlock from Sting. Mark did the same with his slam. They call it the world's most dangerous slam, but they used to call it the world's strongest slam in tribute to Mark. And when they changed the name of it, or they started calling it something else, Mark got offended because he was like, I gave him that move, you know, it's my move. I spent all this time getting it over, making it popular, making it a part of my brand, and then to pass it on to somebody like that in wrestling is a big deal. So
yeah, the fact that they called it something different.
Yeah, I'd feel a little disrespected as well. Oh god, fuck. I accidentally hit my alt button again and I took my tree down. Yeah, so knowing that, we knew for a fact that the Ops weren't going to be winning this match. But that didn't stop me from enjoying the match. I still thought it was really fun to see. It was Jet Speed and Hangman against the Ops, and Joe was there, and Shibata was there, and you know, what can you expect other than a really good wrestling match? Yeah. They're still talking about Jet Speed, Kevin Knight specifically, but Jet Speed being the future of wrestling and AEW and blah blah blah. Sorry, it was good to see where the trios belts are headed. You know, even though they could technically keep him because Hook's still on the team.
Yeah, and yeah.
But I guess they wanted they wanted to pop the crowd. I guess the crowd did seem a little tired towards the end of this match, but they woke up for that surprise roulette boy. It was awesome.
Yeah, and one thing about this match that I really loved, Hook was on commentary. If you know Hook, he's not.
He doesn't talk.
He doesn't talk.
So he essentially just sat there with a headset on. Didn't say anything.
Honestly, it was funny because like I didn't expect him to talk just because knowing his character. But they made an excuse as to why he wasn't talking, and is that he had a neck injury, which I thought was just really, really funny. That they gave him an excuse to not talk.
Yeah.
So, I did write down a question for you as watching, because I thought the same thing about Hook being a part of the ops, and I'm like, okay, like they're gonna lose one, but they have Hook, right? They can continue as the ops, and they maybe don't have to drop the belt. I thought the same thing.
Right.
And I was curious if you think that AEW knew in advance that Hobbs was leaving, and that's why they put Hook back with the ops, so that way he could take Hobbs's place. But with how quickly they threw together this match, I'm not sure. Do you think that they knew?
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks in advance?
It's a possibility, honestly, but it's a little awkward because I'm pretty sure Hobbs was the one who replaced Hook because he got injured. And then Hook came back and was pissed at Joe because he's just like, you couldn't even wait a week, to replace me? Which is like valid criticism of somebody, especially someone who you consider to be a friend. And in universe, you have more money, you have a championship, you have more money, and to just like give that to somebody else to replace somebody so quickly is a little ridiculous. So I expected Hook to be a little bit more mad about that, and then that he just ended up rejoining him anyway. So but it's not like he's leaving on bad terms. He's just not re-signing his contract, and it seems like he just wants to try. He just wants to see how it goes. And like with wrestlers, with companies nowadays like WWE and AEW, they want to sign people to longer contracts so they can't just pull an Andrade and just bounce back and forth between.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be like 5-ish years before he either like decides to resign, or maybe he goes back to AEW. But it seems like he's pretty good friends with, if not Cody, then at least Ricky and
for sure,
and CM Punk, because they kind of had their little friend group, I guess, when Punk was there. And he briefly feuded. Ricky was one of the first feuds for Punk when he came into the company.
So there's some history there.
Yeah.
I wish him luck at WWE. I don't understand it. I feel like he's probably going to get lost, but you never know. They have a recent good history about using AEW wrestlers, I guess, in a sense. So I just hope he is successful, because I feel like Tony was decent to him. Should he have had more opportunity? Maybe. But he got plenty of TV time with the ops, and plenty of pay-per-view matches.
He's had multiple world title matches. Anarchy in the Arena. And he's just like, well, if I'm not gonna win anything, what am I doing here? Because he had that feud over the TNT title with Wardlow, and fucking, I don't know, it just got to be a whole thing. And then eventually he got hurt and he was gone for a while. It seemed like almost a year. It's not fair for us to say that he's gonna get lost in the shuffle in WWE when he kind of got lost in the shuffle in AEW. And it's unfortunate to say, but We want to be as like impartial as possible when it comes to that. Like, you know, at the end of the day, he's a human being. He's like his own brand. He's his own business. If he values himself at that level, then he would be doing himself a disservice to try.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about giving it a shot, seeing what opportunity. And ultimately, like, let's be honest, WWE gets more attention if he does, like, if he does decide to come back. That may mean more money for him. Like, he's going off to get more experience, and maybe he can make even more of a name, have a little bit more of different eyes on him, and have the mega corporation behind him. I don't know.
Yeah, that is one of the benefits, I guess, from going to somewhere else is eventually when it comes to time to renegotiate a contract, and wrestlers do it all the time. Other athletes, I'm sure, do it all the time, where they get an offer from somewhere else and they're like, okay, well, these guys want to offer me this. What are you going to offer me? Because he was offered good money from what I've seen and read online about Hobbs leaving. But he apparently it wasn't about the money. He just wanted to see what was out there, which good for him. So yeah. Other than that, it ended up being a really good match. Joe was doing all he could to avoid wrestling Hangman, which I thought was hilarious. What else? Shibata wrestled Speedball, but he ended up getting the better of him a majority of the time. And then Kevin Knight wrestled Hobbs for a little bit, and then Joe for a little bit, which is awesome because I like to pay attention to stuff like that in the match because you look at like potential feuds in the future. You know, it was an interesting match because Hangman was motivated by spite ultimately, and he wanted to take everything from Joe, being the trios champion. Even though he lost the world title to Max, he's still the trios champion, and essentially he was saying, I'm not done with you. And I think Hook was smart not to be ringside, because I feel like he would have caught a stray if he had chilled around the ring.
Yeah.
The match ended. I've never seen this finish before. So the match breaks down after Hangman gets his hot tag, and at some point Kevin Knight gets tagged back in. Both Joe and Shibata lock in sleeper holds to Speedball and Hangman, so they're getting choked out. But then while that is happening, Kevin Knight gets a surprise roll up on Will for the 3, which we kind of expected to be the case. We expected him to take the pin, but we just weren't sure as to how strong he would put over Hangman or Speedball or anybody on the way out, you know. But it's good that they did a surprise. The crowd, they just sat through 4 hours of wrestling and maybe also a Ring of Honor taping. Oh my god, a Mercy.
I don't know if they would have, I don't know if they would do a Ring of Honor and a Collision. That seems a little excessive.
Right.
It's like 6 hours of stuff they have to film.
Yeah. But I mean, with as much work as you have to do to fucking set up the stage and stuff, I would definitely try and get my money's worth. We can record 8 shows. Oh my god!
What the heck?
My Sigma TP'd into all of them.
Oh.
Symmetra TP'd into all of them.
Oh, that was me that put the thing down to put
Why did you do that?
To put my turrets through. What do you mean? Anyways, good show. Excited for next week.
Very good show.
I'm excited to see if who the first fight will be for the trio titles. I feel like we've got a lot of good. It's like a nice little refresh. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we seem to have gotten a couple trios, and as far as Skyflight, any number of the Death Riders or the Don Callis family could challenge for them. And if they're feuding with Jet Speed as much as they are, I feel like John and maybe Hangman will have to put their differences aside and come together for at least a match or two. That's interesting.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, like an enemy of my enemy is my friend situation. So yeah, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No,
did you
have
enjoy the
any
show?
questions? I did. I liked it a lot more than, or not a lot more, but I did enjoy it more than Dynamite this week.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. I think that's gonna do it for us.
Yeah.
We're trying to make these a little more succinct, so if it seems like we ran through the show, we apologize. We'll try to get a little better as we get more practice. But it's all about finding a comfort zone. We gotta find a length somewhere between 2 hours and 5 hours that we're comfortable with recording a podcast for.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you guys will be the first to know when we figure it out.
But if you have been listening, we really appreciate it. Make sure you join our Discord. I will remember the link this week. And let us know what your thoughts are. Do you like the trajectory? How do you feel about Hobbs going to WWE? Do you think this is a good decision for him? And yeah, just tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. We love to yap, and we know you love to yap as well.
Yep. If you're anything like us.
All right, guys.
We'll catch you on the flip side. Be
safe.
safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.